The Style Method Podcast, helping you avoid fashion disasters one sassy tip at a time. Celebrity and high-end personal stylist Amy Salinger dives into style wins, fashion fails, and closet confessions with women of all shapes, budgets, and lifestyles. Expect expert tips, unfiltered advice, and maybe a little tough love, all in the name of great style. It's time to unlock your signature look. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Style Method Podcast. Real talk, real style, real you, with your fabulous host, Amy Salinger. What are we talking about today, everybody? Get excited. I know you've all been figuring out your style adjectives and you're like, all right, now what do I do with these style adjectives? We are going to get into it today. It's closet confessions. These are 5 truths that I have learned styling 1,000+ women. And honestly, I could have many more truths than this, but we'll start with these 5. We can save those others for future episodes. So I want to start with a client story. Honestly, this type of story has happened a million different ways, but this is one particular story that happened, I don't know, about 5 years ago that really stuck with me because I never want people to feel this way. And I want to save you from yourself, like getting dressed, shopping, styling, walking out the door in an outfit. This should be the least stressful part of your day. Make it the most fun part of your day. We're talking about like fashion and style here. And I understand this is so anxiety provoking for so many people. And here I am, people. Let me help you. Let me save the fashion day. Let's stop the crazy. We're not, solving world hunger here. There are bigger things to worry about. Let's get excited about essentially putting on a costume and going to a party, even if that costume is your everyday uniform and that party is work. When you're dressing fabulously, everything feels like a party. For God's sakes, you should see me get dressed up for myself to work on Zoom, or for that matter, seeing no clients that day. I don't care. I will still layer my necklaces just for myself because it makes me happy. So let's start off with that client story after a long monologue. You'll get used to me, I promise. So basically, I had this client and she had a shopping problem. I mean, it was completely out of control. It even went on after she hired me. She hired me to solve the problem, right? To get this off of her plate, to outsource the issue of buying things that she didn't love, filling her closet with things that basically reminded her of her mistakes, and wasting tons of money. Oh my God, the amount she was spending on clothing, and then half of it had tags on it. I'm like, you could, buy a bunch of drinks for an entire bar 3 times over for what you have just spent on all of these clothes, or done other good things with your money, like give it to charity. But she couldn't stop. This was a psychological problem more than an actual physical problem. Yes, there was a space problem. Yes, there was a shopping in the middle of the night problem, clicking through on Instagram. Oh my God, they've made it way too easy to shop on there, which is actually very dangerous because you lose your filter of decision making. You're like, it's the middle of the night, I'm scrolling and whatever, I'll just buy this. And then in the morning, you're like, what have I done? It's the worst feeling in the world. Cut it out. Cut the madness. We don't need to do this. So shopping, wasting money, filling her closet with things she didn't love. She was fighting every day to get dressed. People love to ask you the question, or those little style quizzes love to ask you the question, like, what percentage of your wardrobe are you wearing? This woman was probably wearing 5% of her wardrobe. It was the same things on repeat, and she kept shopping because it's like putting a Band-Aid on something. You're like trying to fix it, but it's just one of the symptoms. It's not the underlying problem, right? So I had to get to the underlying problem. I always say that I am 80% shrink and 20% stylist. And it's real. I am dealing with what's going on upstairs, not necessarily on their body. And once we deal with the background stories and the stories they're telling themselves, it changes their operating system. So we worked through what was the Band-Aid? What was the reason that she was shopping, shopping, shopping? Why had she outsourced this problem to me? And yet I would wake up on any given morning and literally get 20 links of things she had bought in the middle of the night. And I'm like, you're missing the point. We've created a very specific shopping list that is very tailored to what you need based on what we're cleaning out. I don't need you to own more. I need you to own the right pieces, the right few items to mix in with what you've already bought. And she just kept adding to the problem. She was her own worst enemy. It came down to something really simple, which is this was a Band-Aid for other things going on in her life. This was her outlet. So the question became, what could your outlet be that would be positive, that would be beneficial, that would not be wasting your money and wasting your time so that we can direct your energy elsewhere? Yes, we got that deep. And guess what? It's one of my favorite parts of my jobs because interpersonal relationships, ooh, it gets me going. Being online all the time and not really talking to people, that is just not the way to go, everybody. This is so much more than just the clothing that you put on your body. And we worked through it. And guess what? We got to the other side. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm helping you get to the other side because the first of the 5 deep truths that I have learned is that more clothes does not equal more options. One of my taglines, I've got a lot. You're going to learn all of them because I've been doing this for 20 years. And holy Lord, if you don't come up with some taglines, what else are you doing in your busy day? But less is more, okay? Own less, style more. And I'm going to repeat this over and over. You need to own the right items. You need to own the right pieces that fit you well, that serve your lifestyle, that match your style adjectives, that show off your personality. This is anything from a staple item like the foundation of your wardrobe all the way up to the fun, which is like the flair of your wardrobe. It has to fit the real function of your life. And knowing more information about yourself, starting with your style adjectives, only allows you to make better decisions. Stop fighting with your own closet every day. That makes me crazy. A lot of people don't understand the value in owning less. They think that if they're staring in a closet that isn't packed to the brim, that, oh my God, I have nothing to wear. It's like, that's the opposite. You're already only wearing like possibly 20% of what you own. So why not stop the fight every morning and have some more clarity in your life? And then you're able to actually see the holes of your wardrobe and what you need. When I'm working with clients and we get through the initial step, which is always, 95% of the time, unless you've gained or lost a ton of weight, I am always going to start with a closet consultation. Why? Because you're spinning your wheels if you don't know exactly what you own and aren't able to put together a very specific shopping list based on your needs. You don't know what those things are unless you clean out all of the noise. So it saves money and it saves time. What more do we want? Yeah, it's annoying. Nobody's like, ooh, cleaning out my closet. It sounds like a blast. But you go through the muck, you go through the hard stuff to get to the other side of joy and lifting a weight off of your shoulders. And I love it when clients will contact me after that initial consultation and be like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And I'm like, ugh, we haven't even done the fun stuff yet. Wait till we get to the shopping and then the styling. Oh my gosh, this is nothing. But it's that kind of joy that you will get. Yes, you're going to have to go through it. But on the other side is happiness. It's like anything. You want to work out to feel healthy, right? Like maybe working out isn't the most fun thing, but feeling healthy is pretty dope. So you got to do something that maybe is a little to get to the woohoo on the other side, for sound effects, of course. Social media is not a plan. This is truth number 2. All right. I have many gripes about the world of social media, but it can be very beneficial. Unfortunately, one of the negatives is too much time or not enough time, and you're literally just scrolling and hoping something will work, clicking that purchase button and ending up with a sea of things arriving at your door that don't work. They work for the person that you saw on Instagram. They work for that influencer. Why doesn't it work for you? Because it's probably not your style adjectives. It probably doesn't fit your body type. And maybe it doesn't even fit your budget. And the truth is, you have to figure out what your budget is in order to make decisions, because you shouldn't just buy a bunch of cheap shit and hope it looks expensive. And you also shouldn't overspend and bust your budget. And then you spend so much money that you don't even wear these things, or maybe you wear them one time and never know how to style them again. Okay. It's about understanding cost per wear, which means where you should spend your money and where you should save your money. But definitely not through social media and looking to other people to somehow devise your style for you. Once you know your style adjectives, it is going to filter out a lot of that noise as well. Number 3, this kind of loops into number 1, but it's definitely its own truth. Shopping is not editing. We're going to say like no to emergency shopping. What is emergency shopping? It is waiting till the last second because you're procrastinating, because you're like, oh, I don't feel like doing this and I don't have time and I'm thinking about other things. Like, say you have an event coming up and you're like, oh, but I want something new. You're always bored with your clothes. You always don't like what you own. Well, that's because you're doing the same thing, which is a problem, over and over and over, which is emergency shopping. I love my sister-in-law. She's going to love that I'm using her as an example. Love her to death, but this is one of her problems, and we talk about it all the time. She has an event coming up. She doesn't love anything in her wardrobe, and then she last minute shops, clicking through links on Amazon where I tell her, this is not quality. You are not going to love this, and you are adding to the problem, only to end up with something that she wears maybe one time to that event that she got the very last day because she had to find something that could be there by a certain day, a certain time. And her closet is filling up with things she doesn't love. There has to be a plan. There has to be a system. So there has to be more thought put into this than last minute emergency shopping. That is not a plan. Let me tell you. Creating a list, having a shopping list, once you clean out your closet, and being very intentional with that shopping list and really following through, even if you think something is boring. It's not boring. It's a foundational item, meaning make it good quality, make it fit you well. You will wear it over and over and over. And the flair can be your accessories. It can be something else that you pair with it, but you need to have the foundation to build off of. And by the way, your foundation can be entertaining as well. Like my black ankle pants are like tuxedo pull-on pants. That is not what I would call boring, but it is definitely a foundational item in my wardrobe. All right. Number 4 of the deep truths is sizes and style. Oh my gosh. I deal with every body type known to man, and it is the great joy of my life. And it is the number one expertise that I have, because I get it. It's difficult not only to understand your body type, but then to dress it. And let's say it's a moving target, which is 95% of women. I up 5 pounds, down 5 pounds, and everything extended in between, all of it. I get it. I'm a woman. I also had a baby. So that whole thing, growing a baby for 9 months and then losing the weight and being postpartum, and then your hormones are all over the place and you're breastfeeding. And this is just one phase of life that is uber confusing. But everything, menopause, good times, like you're starting to gain weight. There's nothing you can do about it. Your body's shifting. It is always going to be a moving target. The key is to understand that moving target. So size is not what it's about. It's about your shape, okay? And forget about looking at the tag inside. Like, I know people say this and you can't get it through your head because you're like, I am not a size 10. Well, that's bullshit, because depending on the designer, depending on, who's making this clothing, I mean, it's a range of 3 sizes. Like literally, I can be a size 0 at Banana Republic. Okay, yeah, right. All the way up to, a size 6 at like a designer, Burberry, for example. That's ridiculous because sizing is all over the place. There's tons of vanity sizing. There's tons of like, we're going to make you feel small. We're going to make you feel big, whatever. Does it fit properly? This is a hurdle you're going to have to get over, but this is what I like to refer to as a psychological block. Once you get rid of that psychological block, whew, the world is your oyster. You're looking now for like quality pieces that you love, that fit you properly. Who gives a shit what the size is? I want you to love yourself for the body that you're in now. I've said this 1 million times and I'll say it 1 million more. You need to dress with confidence and love for the shape that you currently have. If you are constantly waiting to lose 5 pounds, have fun with that. I'll see you never. Those clients that are like, I'd love to hire you, but I want to wait till I lose 5 pounds. I'm like, nice knowing you. It's useless. It's pointless because what I want people to do and what I help people do is dress for their beautiful body type now. When you start dressing for where you're at and feeling good about how you look when you walk out the door, your little vision that model, you're like this, and then you put on a great outfit and you're like, oh, hey, and you're like posing with your hands on your hips in the mirror.
Will be with us.
That's the goal. That's why I want you to walk out of the house.
Our revolution is not for ourselves alone.
You can
it is for
achieve
every
that
nameless
goal,
soul
no
ground beneath
matter
the hill
your
of tyranny.
size. It's all about dressing for the body that you're in currently, and then
deserves to know the taste of freedom.
Encourages you
it is for the generations yet to come who will inherit
the body that
the world
you want,
remade by our
You feel
hands.
good now. You continue to feel good and move forward. It's like the idea. Okay, you're losing weight, right? It sucks if you're going to the gym and you're losing your weight. You're like over it,
Stand
right?
proud
but the moment you like lose 5 pounds, you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get on that treadmill.
You are part of the fire that will burn away the old
in fashion.
And forge
the concept
the new.
In terms of
when
style, once you start feeling good, you're going to get out of that I'm going to throw garbage bag over my body because I hate it mentality.
You are the
and you're going to walk out with more confidence, and you're going to start to really view yourself differently, and therefore present yourself to the world differently. I cannot say it
ride with me, my
enough.
family. Ride not for me, not even for yourselves, but for the world that waits beyond the smoke and fire.
I promise.
Ride for the children who will grow up
Confidence
free.
Comes from
Ride
alignment,
for the voices that can no longer cry out. Ride for the truth that no tyrant can kill. Tonight we take the first step into that new world. Tonight we light the fire that will never be extinguished. Tonight we remind the mighty that their thrones rest on foundations of sand.
Full of,
and tomorrow the sun will rise on a world forever changed.
High heels,
and we'll tell stories of this night of the men and women who dared to stand, to fight, to believe when all the world told them to bow. And in those stories, we will not be the villains. We will be the spark, the flame, the dawn
you're dressing
itself.
for a totally different version of yourself. It's maybe the wishful thinking of who you used to be or the wishful thinking of who you want to be. But you have to start with reality and then add that like who you'd like to become, who you aspire to be into the mix. So you're going to get into your authentic lifestyle, your authentic personality, your authentic and beautiful shape. Okay? Starting with, say it with me, your style adjectives. Taking that quiz at stylemethodpodcast.com or going to any stylemethodco.com. Wait, that's not right. At Style Method Co. would be all of my social media. I got to get that straight, Amy. All right. I love to talk to myself in the third person sometimes, but it really is about alignment. And one of my other taglines I say a lot is function first, fashion second. This doesn't mean boring. This doesn't mean like go out there and get your Skechers shoes with the big sole and we're like comfortable shoes that are really walkable. It's like, no, but they can be comfortable and stylish. What are you doing every day? What can your feet handle? My feet can't handle shit. So I have a huge sneaker collection that I live for. And it makes my outfits, sporty, athleisure, funky, casual, all the things that I love, but I amp up my game because I know my feet hurt and I know I also want to look cute. So function first. What are the things you need out of your style? If you're carrying around a clutch bag, but you're literally holding a water bottle and like a canvas tote bag, what are you doing? Why do you have all these extra things? Get a bag that functions with your real life. Start with, what do you actually put in this bag? Then go out to the other questions you might ask yourself about lifestyle and, what you do and what you want to wear and what your style adjectives are. But start with your reality. Love yourself for where you're at. So, that's it. You're not broken. Your closet is just chaotic. And we want to simplify that. It's not just about outfits. It's about your identity. And once you start to truly honor and love your identity and also identify your identity through your style adjectives, everything is going to get a lot more clear for you. Take the style adjective, follow @StyleMethodCo, leave a review, share the episode with a friend who needs a style reset. Fashionable best friend next door, me, Amy Salinger, here to help you at the Style Method podcast. Real you. This is real talk, real style, real you. Can't wait to see you at the next episode.